seeing that this girl's phone was unlocked right beside me as she went to go get more popcorn. And I decided to basically pick up the phone and see what all the vibrating was that her phone kept doing. And what I ended up seeing was insane. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. This story all takes place back when I was in high school, and I was at a party at this moment. I was at a party hanging out with some of my friends and stuff, and it was just a giant party that someone at my school was hosting. I remember when I was there, I was walking around, having a good time, hanging out with people and talking to a lot of girls. But then one thing really crazy happened out of nowhere, where I ended up basically walking towards like the bathroom. And when I entered the bathroom, I ended up seeing a girl on the floor crying her eyes out. I ended up looking at her and I kind of went on one knee saying, "Hey, like, is everything all right?" Yeah, everything's fine, I guess. I don't know. Why are you crying? Like, what's going on? Oh, just a lot of stuff's going on. I don't know why I came to this party even. There's no point. Okay, well, to be honest, I'm kind of getting bored as well. Do you want me to like drive you home? You would do that? Yeah, I don't see why not. So I remember me and this girl, we ended up getting up and we actually went straight to my car and I started driving her home. To be honest, I wanted to leave the party anyway because it wasn't that good. And to be honest, the girls there were mid. So I ended up basically driving this girl home because, well, it was just a reason for me to leave without getting the guys upset. But I remember right as me and this girl got inside my car, I ended up looking at her and I asked her straight up, like, "Do you want to maybe talk about why you were crying earlier?" Oh, well, honestly, you're gonna think I'm really dumb for this, but I basically had like two guys I was talking to at the same time. And like, I guess they kind of figured me out and thought I was like a player of some sort, which I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to keep my options open, but like, I never fully said I was dating one of them. At this point, I started to realize what this girl was trying to say because she was basically in the position I'm always in 24/7, where I would basically talk to more than 5 girls at once and basically be a player. Okay, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's a player move what she was doing, and I understood it, and I started laughing and actually agreeing with her that there's no reason to cry about it. She ends up looking at me kind of weirded out saying, "You don't think I'm like a Minecraft hoe for that?" No, I don't. Honestly, like, I get it. I mean, to be honest, I'm a player as well. At this moment, me and her, we got along to the point where we actually ended up going back to her place, and I'm not gonna lie to you, we actually ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And this is where I guess it kind of begins our really bizarre friendship, because I remember weeks on end after I met her that day, we'd always meet up and do the Devil's Tango in the most randomest of places. In a way, I guess we were friends with benefits, but to a point where, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think we kind of did like each other. Till one day, I remember she ended up looking at me one time after we did the Devil's Tango, and we were both laying down on my bed, and she said to me, "Hey, Bubba, I was wondering, like, we've been doing this for like months now. Do you want to like maybe like actually try being in a relationship? Are you sure you can handle that?" Wait, what do you mean if I can handle that? Well, like, you know, like once you're a player, it's hard to get out of the game, and you know, being committed to me and actually becoming in a relationship is not an easy thing to do. At this point, she kind of just started like, you know, shrugging her shoulders, and she's like kind of like making reasons of why we'd make a great couple since we understand each other to a point where we were both players. And I don't know, she made up all these reasons that, I'm not gonna lie to you, it didn't really sit well with me. But honestly, I did like this girl somewhat, I won't lie, so I ended up basically saying sure, why not, for me and her to go out. And trust me when I say this, dating a girl that's a player as well is as hard as dating a guy that's a player, because what ends up happening next was the most awkward thing ever. Because I remember the next day, I remember it was the weekend, it was a Saturday, and me and this girl, I ended up picking her up so we can go to dinner. We decided to go for a dinner date because, well, I don't know, we already knew so much about each other, but we wanted to, I guess, kind of see if we could do it in like a normal setting of like an actual relationship. So me and her, we ended up going to this nice restaurant, and once we got there, I remember right as we walked through the doors and we go get seated at our table, instantly I see her ducking her head down saying, "Oh shoot, why is he here?" Why is who here? I end up looking around and she's like, "Okay, do you see that guy like kind of like to the left of you?" Yeah, what about him? Well, I think like 2 weeks ago, I think he hit me up and like he wanted to like, you know, hang out and stuff, if you know what I mean. And like, I don't know why he's here, but it looks like he's with his girlfriend. Wait, this guy has a girlfriend and he hit you up? Yeah, why? Well, like, he's taken, so it doesn't change anything. At this moment, like, I felt really weird because like, how are you gonna say that to a guy that you're literally on a date with? You know what I mean? Like, it just made things way more awkward. And then afterwards, I remember this girl decides to get up and actually leave to go to the bathroom so she can kind of like hide out in there as she's texting me like if he's gone and stuff. And at the moment, I'm just sitting there thinking this is the most dumbest date I've ever been on. But then out of nowhere, the guy walks up to me and he comes up behind me saying, "Hey, I have a question. That girl you're with, is she still here?" Yeah, she's still here. She just went real quick to the bathroom. Why, what's up? Just tell her like I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know she would be here and like I didn't want her to see that. Oh no, it's chill, dude. I'm just a friend of hers. Oh, okay, cool, man. All right, well, I'll see you later. And he ended up walking away. Now, I don't know why he said he would see me later, but like at the same time, at that moment, I started to realize that maybe me and this girl dating wasn't gonna happen. I don't know. Comment down below if you guys would date a girl that used to be a major player, but at this moment, I started to realize that maybe it wasn't a good idea. So right as this girl comes back and sits down for dinner, me and her, we started talking about, you know, things in life that we wanted to do and goals and achievements. And honestly, I ended up bringing up the conversation saying, hey, so listen, I don't know if us like actually like becoming official is a good idea. Like, I think we have too much history from our past and too many skeletons in the closet to kind of like just hide everything away and just start dating. You know what I mean? She ends up looking at me kind of sad, but she kind of understood what I was saying since that whole thing just happened. And then she ended up grabbing me by the hand and saying, well, I mean, I could just make it up to you back at my place. And well, you guys know me. I was a major player. I was a hornball. Obviously, I said yes, and me and her, we ended up going straight to my car. Not even eating dinner, by the way. We totally just forgot to eat, and we instantly went straight to her place and went and did the Devil's Tango. And after we finished, I remember we laid down beside each other again, and she looks at me, and once again, she says, honestly, I think we're like really compatible. I think we should try again. Like, let's just go somewhere where like maybe we won't get like seen by like too many people. Like where? Oh, like, I don't know. We can go like to a movie if you want. At this moment, I'm like, you know what? Sure. How bad could a movie be? And trust me when I say this, what ends up happening at the movie after, God, it just made me realize that I could not date this girl for the living life of me. Because I remember the next day happens and I went to go pick up this girl instantly from her house so we can go see a movie. And right as I pick her up, I remember she got in my car while looking at her phone, texting someone. Now, I didn't ask who she was texting, obviously, because one, it's none of my business. But let's just say, trust me, I wish I asked who she was texting, because I remember the whole time in the car as we were getting to the theater, her phone kept vibrating over and over as if she was like a doctor that needed to get to the OR. Like, it was like non-stop vibrations to the point where I looked at her and I said, hey, like, if you're too busy tonight, we can go to a movie another time. What? No, I'm fine, Bubba. Let's just go to this movie. Trust me, nothing bad's gonna happen. And as we got to the theater, I remember we went inside, we went to go sit in our seats, but at the same time, she looks at me and says, oh, Bubba, do you want popcorn? I kind of want popcorn for this movie. Yeah, sure, I'm down for popcorn. So she ends up getting up, going down to get the popcorn, but right as she leaves, I realized that she left her phone on the seat unlocked. So at this moment, I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to look at her phone and just go through it and see if, like, you know, how many dudes she was talking to and why her phone was vibrating all the time. But also part of me knew that, like, you know, we were both players. Like, obviously there's gonna be dudes. Like, why would I look at it to hurt myself? But obviously, me being a dumb guy and honestly really curious, I ended up basically grabbing her phone and I went through it. And what I saw was the most insane thing ever, because I ended up seeing a photo of a guy's eggplant and under it said, I can't wait to see you tonight after the movie. What? At this point, I was so confused. Like, she's gonna see a guy after our date? Like, seriously? And it kind of did piss me off to the point where I got up and I actually ended up leaving the theater. I just left her. I am not joking. I didn't even tell her I was leaving. I just left. And right as I was in my car on the way home, I kept getting spam called by this girl and I answered it saying, yeah, listen, honestly, I know what you're gonna say. I don't want to hear it. You're gonna go see some other dude anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Can we just pretend we never saw each other and just move on? And I hung up the phone. At this moment, I started to realize that maybe dating another player is just gonna hurt me even more. And it made me actually start to realize how bad it was for me to be a player like that. Because I'm not gonna lie, I also used to be like that all the time. I don't know. If you guys would have left that date, comment down below. But honestly, at the end of the day, if you guys wouldn't, then just fall for more embarrassing stories. All right, so before I get into this story, I know it's a little awkward seeing me face to face, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm getting a little tired of the PNG character, and I thought doing stories in a different way would maybe be better for the channel. So obviously, like I usually say before every video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and 80% of you guys haven't subscribed yet to the channel. Honestly, I have no idea why, so I would advise you guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot, and especially if you guys like the video as well. And also, if you guys do want more story times face to face like we do right now, or I guess starting to at this point, click that subscribe button. It does help. And also, thank you for 160,000 subscribers. You guys literally are changing my life day by day. Now, other than that, let's get straight into the story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story is a little something different. Today's story is something that was posted on TikTok a long time back when I first started doing stories. Except this story was something special because this literally blew me off the map. And by that, I mean this story literally got over 37 million views. And thankfully for you guys, I'm here to give you guys the full-on story today. So this story starts off with me saying, I think we all know that girl that has a lot of guy friends. Like, you know how like there's always that girl either like in a friend group or you message on Snapchat or nowhere that you meet online that's like, oh, like I have like a lot of guy friends. So like, you know, if you're like talking to me, like, don't be weirded out. And honestly, I think we all know that that chick is usually lying half of the time. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe there are girls out there that have guy friends, but the chance of that guy friend not wanting to absolutely devil's tango her is absolutely fake. Bro, I never thought you guys would actually see me do that devil's tango thing. It's actually kind of cool. But going on, so I remember one time back when I was in high school, this was my grade 10 year, and I didn't look like this in my grade 10 year. I looked like this. So the major difference of like a girl, like, you know, messaging me or wanting to hit me up wasn't uncommon. I remember there was a girl in my math class that, I'm not gonna lie, she had a lot of guy friends. And I'm not gonna lie, at first, like, I wasn't really close friends with her at all. But for some reason, one time, I remember she came up to my desk at school and she said, hey, like, are you like doing good on the homework? And me, I looked at her, I'm like, I mean, I kind of understand it, yeah. But then she looked at me saying, oh, like, I was wondering if, like, I can get your Snapchat so you can, like, maybe, like, help me out with it. And I look at her and I'm just absolutely just confused. Like, it didn't make sense to me why she asked me. Like, for God's sakes, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wasn't a straight A student. I was, like, at most, maybe getting a C+. Like, I'm not good at school. I'm gonna be honest here. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm a YouTuber. But going on, I remember she ended up telling me, oh, like, just give it to me so you can, like, help me out with, like, school. And I was like, okay, like, sure, like, why not? I don't mind. I'll give it to you. No issue. So I gave her my Snapchat. I remember later on the day, I went up to my friends telling them like basically what happened. I was like, oh, like she asked for my Snap. I don't know why. Like it's kind of weird. And they looked at me saying, dude, she's awesome. Just be friends with her. She's absolutely chill. And in my mind, I was like, oh, she's probably just wanting to be a friend. Simple as that. So I remember I went home that same day and I'm not gonna lie, like nothing really was happening. I was just at my desk playing Call of Duty with the boys and I realized that I was getting Snapchats. Now, if you guys don't know, Snapchat is like the main way that most girls like to communicate through the internet, especially when you're talking to like a girl or a guy. Like, you know, for some reason, most people use Snapchat. I think it's like one of the most popular things. By the way, make sure you guys do follow me on Snapchat. Here's my username. Make sure you guys go on there. I post a lot of the public stories. And on top of that, I post some of the stories on there. Other than the promotion though, I'm not joking, guys. Like, apparently a lot of people had her on Snap. And most of my guy friends already had her on Snap. But when I was home, I remember she ended up sending me a Snapchat. She sent me a Snapchat saying, hey, like, what are you doing? And in my mind, I was a little confused because I was like, I'm at home playing video games. Like, I didn't know what else to say there. But then I remember she ended up asking me, oh, like, do you like maybe want to come over? Now, at first I was really confused because I was like, why would I come over? Like, what is the point? And then she asked me, oh, like, I don't understand the homework. Can you like please come over and help me out? Now, at that point, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When a girl asks you to come over, there's one of two things you could do. One, you could absolutely just not go over and be an absolute weirdo, or you could just go over and just hang out with her. So that's what I decided to do. I went over to her house and I remember when I entered the front door, she looked at me saying, oh, like, do you want to like play like PlayStation? I just have to plug it in. Can you help me with that? What? Wait, you're telling me that you wanted me to help with homework, but now you want to go on the PlayStation? Something's not adding up here. So obviously we go to her living room, we sat down and we had plugged in the PlayStation. We ended up going on Netflix. Of all things to use for a PlayStation, we ended up using for Netflix. I don't know why a lot of people start buying consoles just to watch movies on it. Like, just get an Apple TV. It does all that. Sponsor me, Apple. I'm kidding. Anyways, like I was saying though. So I remember as that was going on, I remember I was just kind of just chilling, doing my own thing, sitting there watching a movie with her. And as I was watching the movie with her, I remember me and her got closer and closer and closer. And she got to the point where it was too close. Too close to the point where she literally put her hand on my thigh and said, you know, you're kind of cute though. And we ended up doing the devil's tango. I love doing that. It's so cool. You guys can see it. Anyways, we ended up doing the devil's tango. And I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't a bad thing. To be honest, like I said, I wasn't inexperienced at this time. It was common, so I didn't really care. But then I remember as like me and her were doing the devil's tango, it got really awkward after a while because her phone wouldn't stop vibrating. I swear to God, every time like we were doing something on the couch, it got to the point where her phone just kept buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. It was insane to the point where I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I literally pushed her off me and I was like, why does your phone keep going off? Then she looks at me saying, oh, it's just like all my guy friends. Like, I'll just like, you know, turn it off. So she picks up her phone, goes on it for like a minute. And after that, she places it back down on the counter or the coffee table, I should say. And then she tells me, oh, like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna clean up. So she goes to the bathroom and cleans up. I don't know why every girl does it after the devil's tango, but I can't blame her. So going on, she went back to the bathroom and she decided to clean herself up. And me, I just see her phone still vibrating. So I remember I ended up picking up her phone and me knowing her password because I literally saw her do it right in front of my eyes as she was butt naked. Anyways, I ended up going on her phone and I know it's kind of snoopy to do that. Don't snoop through girls' phones. It's not fun, or anyone's phone, to be honest. I should probably be saying that. But anyways, I ended up going on her phone, and when I did, I went on her Snapchat and I realized how many guys were snapping her. All those guy friends that she was talking about, they were all dudes that basically she was hitting on, and they were hitting on her back. And I remember as I was opening each individual snap, there was one snap specifically that freaked me out. And it was one about this guy's eggplant, his literal eggplant. At that point, I remember I would just close it off, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going through this anymore. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt grossed out. But when she came out of the bathroom, I remember she came out and she came towards the couch that, you know, we previously did the Devil's Tango on, and she was asking me for round 2. Now, guys, obviously, I wasn't down for round 2. After seeing another person's eggplant, it just wasn't worth it. So I remember I decided to basically tell her, to be honest, like, I'm not really in the mood. Not gonna lie. She ended up looking at me saying, oh, like, are you okay? Like what's going on? Like, are you serious? Yeah, no, I'm not really like feeling it. Like, sorry. And that was it. I remember I got up and I literally left, and apparently she just ended up unadding me on Snapchat, being all pissed off and stuff. And I remember the next day at school when I saw her, let's just say she really did not need help with any homework. And she was already asking another guy in our class to help her with the homework. Honestly, worst comes to worst, it was fun doing the Devil's Tango with her, but some girls are just not meant to be. It's kind of the science about that, and I think that's one of the things that you guys will learn in my stories over time, is that some girls are just not it. And some guys, I can't give girls all the hate. But anyways, guys, that is basically it for the story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe, and make sure you guys do tell me if you guys like these stories with the face cam. Seriously, it's a new way of doing things, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of get out of the PNG concept and more in the IRL concept. So make sure you subscribe to both channels, follow me on all socials down below, and I'll see you dudes in next video. Peace out, guys. And when I picked up my girlfriend's phone, I was going through the photos, and I saw there were photos of other people's eggplants. Like, they weren't even mine. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing story. So today's story all starts off back in my grade 11 year, and I remember in grade 11, I actually had a girlfriend. If you guys don't know, I had a girlfriend that was once my sneaky link, but then I guess me and her adapted feelings for each other, and we ended up dating. Now, a couple things I should mention about this girl. She was a blonde girl that was super attractive, and honestly, she was really, really hot. A lot of people throughout the school actually knew about her, and I'm not gonna lie to you, she's also done the Devil's Tango almost more times than me. And let's just say it led to a lot of people not liking her because of this. But to be fair, a lot of people didn't like me because of it. So, but who am I to make fun of her for doing basically what I did throughout high school? Going on though, me and her got along very well with each other. And it got to the point where I remember one day, me and her, we actually ended up hanging out one time on the school field. And she told me, hey, Bubba, I'm just wondering, do you want to like maybe like go on a date sometime? I don't know. I mean, we can if you want. That's really up to you. I don't know. Me, I had a really hard time answering this question because I didn't want to lose her as a sneaky link, but at the same time, she did want to date me, so I wasn't really gonna say no because she wanted to actually have like a formal relationship with me since me and her got along together super well. So I said sure, and I remember me and her, we ended up going on a bunch of dates. But I'm not gonna lie to you, every time we would go on a date, like for example, the one time when me and her went to the movies, we would sit down during the movie and start like making out and stuff, but out of nowhere, her phone would just keep buzzing and vibrating for some very odd reason. I didn't really like this, and to be honest, as a guy that's like officially dating a girl, you don't want your girlfriend's phone to be vibrating more than yours. Like, it makes you feel really weird. Like, I understand girls are normally more popular on social media and stuff, but when it's all just text messages from random numbers that she would not label, I knew something was up. Going on though, I remember one time I was at home and I was basically like going on my Xbox playing Call of Duty with the boys, and as I was in the Xbox live party, out of nowhere, one of them ended up saying, yo, Bubba, you still dating that weird girl? Me and my girlfriend? Yeah. Me and her, you know, are still dating. Why? Nothing, bro. I'm just gonna say this right now. I wouldn't date her, bro. Like, I just wouldn't trust her. What do you mean? Well, like, bro, I don't know. There's rumors around the school that like she like keeps like a lot of like blackmail on her phone. Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't trust her personally. So just my opinion, break up with her. Now, when the boys end up telling you to break up with a girl, chances are that 80% of the time, they're right. The girl's usually not worth it if all the boys don't approve, because who knows you better than the boys? And for the girls, same way around. Who knows you better than the girls? From there, I remember I ended up telling them, guys, I don't know, like me and her, we get along super well. I think it's totally fine. Let me just ride this out and see what happens, okay? And once I see a red flag, that's when I'll dip. Okay, man, whatever you say, it's your funeral. And we ended up continuing to play. Now, I'm not gonna lie, after that conversation, I felt really weird and I didn't really know what to think. I was really like on the urge of just being like, yo, me and her should end things, but at the same time, me and her, we were really good at doing the Devil's Tango. So did I really want to lose that? And I already knew that at this point, we were so far into our relationship, which was only a month, by the way, but we were so far in my mind that breaking up with her would lead to basically me and her not being able to do the Devil's Tango anymore, and not even as a sneaky link. So at this time, I was really on the fence about things, and me and her over time, we actually started talking less and less because I would not talk to her as much, until I started realizing why she was so okay with me not talking to her as much, because as time went on, I ended up running up to her in the school school hallway. I ran up to her and said, hey, like, I'm just curious, like, I'm sorry I haven't been talking too much. It's just, I've been like just really thinking about things and stuff. Okay, well, I knew that already, but you want to maybe talk about it? Like, I do miss you. No, everything's fine. I'm just curious. Like, people are saying like, you like hide blackmail and stuff. Is that true? Blackmail? I would never do that, Bubba. Like, why would I ever do that? No, that's not me. Okay, well, can I maybe see your phone then? No, why would you want to see my phone? What? Bubba, you're being weird. And she ended up walking away from me. Now, at this point, I knew something was suspicious. Something felt really off after that moment. I knew that whatever was on her phone was definitely got to be something illegal. Maybe she had like blackmail. Maybe she had like, quadrillion dollars in crypto. I have no idea what she was having on her phone, but she did not want to tell anyone nor show anyone about it. And I remember I ended up going to my science class, and I had a class with one of her friends in science, and I walked up to her and I decided to sit down with her and ask her a question. I asked her, so I was just wondering, like, you know my girlfriend, right? Yeah, what about her? Well, I'm just curious, does she have like anything weird on her phone? Bubba, are you telling me you don't trust her? No, I trust her. I'm just curious of like, what's on her phone. Bubba, that's for her to tell. That's not my issue. And she ended up moving seats away from me. Now, me doing this was a major red flag to, well, anyone. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it made me realize that maybe the boys were right. Maybe I should not see this girl anymore and maybe break up with her. But then things ended up turning out for the worse. Because after that moment, I remember I was hanging out with the boys in the cafeteria at lunchtime. And when I was sitting down at lunch, just hanging out with them, my girlfriend walked up to me saying, Bubba, can I talk to you for a second? Yeah, sure. Okay, well, come with me. I remember all the boys went, ooh, when she said that. And right away at that moment, I started to worry. I started to worry because I didn't really know what she was going to say or anything. And I didn't know, maybe she just wanted to break up with me then and there. And when she pulled me aside, I remember she said, Bubba, did you ask my friends about my phone? Like, seriously, do you think they really know what's on my phone? Well, I mean, why don't you just show me what's on your phone? No, babe, that's not the point. We're not talking about this right now, okay? Seriously, like, figure yourself out, then call me. And she walked away. Obviously, at this point, I was kind of like embarrassed, but at the same time, I felt really heartbroken because, like, I don't know, I didn't know if I should trust her. I didn't know if I should not. Like, on my mind, I didn't really know what to think or say because what was so secretive that she had to keep on her phone until I found out. And the way I found out, I gotta say, was scarring because I remember 2 days went by and it was the weekend. It was Friday. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to be alone on a Friday. Let me call up my girlfriend. I called her up and I said, hey, babe, like, I know we have like a lot of troubles, but do you want to maybe come over and do what we do best? The devil's tango. Yeah, sure. I'm down. I'll come over. And she came over to my place. When she came over, I remember me and her, instead of talking at all, we ended up just going straight to my bedroom and we did the devil's tango. Like, not one singular word was said between each other other than moaning, which is really weird. By the way, I probably shouldn't mention that. YouTube, don't demonetize this video. I know it's really weird, the things I say on this channel, but you gotta understand it's for educational purposes. And one thing led to another. Me and her, when we were doing it, out of nowhere, she had to go to the bathroom. So she got up and said, Bubba, I'm gonna quickly go to the bathroom. I'll be back. And when she went to the bathroom, I remember I look over to my side. I look at my nightstand and I saw her phone was there, but opened. Like it was already unlocked for some reason. At this point, I felt really weird. And I'm like, why is her phone unlocked? What do I do? And in my mind, I was just going through so much stress and anxiety to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go on her phone. I ended up grabbing her phone and going through messages and everything. And I started realizing that this girl was definitely cheating on me. But not only that, when I actually went into her photos and I went to her hidden folder, that was the eggplant emoji. I started realizing photos of my eggplant and photos of everyone else's eggplant. Even some of the boys, by the way, were in that folder. At that moment, I knew what this girl was doing. She was doing the devil's tango with people and saving the photos onto her phone of their eggplants. I found this super gross and I'm like, what in the world's going on? Like, ew. Like, no, I can't do this. And I remember at that moment, I saw her walk into the room and she's like, babe, what are you doing on my phone? What? Are you okay? Like, seriously? And I broke up with her right then and there. I said, babe, this many eggplants on your phone? Are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing with all this? Are you actually blackmailing people? Babe, it's not what it looks like. It's for my safety. Your safety of what? And at that moment, yeah, I just broke up with her then and there. I felt super uncomfortable and she ended up leaving my place super upset. But obviously, I wasn't going to just let her go with all those photos. The next day at school, I remember I told all the boys about, what she had on her phone. And all of us ended up basically going up to her and making her delete it in front of us. We all crowded around her and we said we would get the cops involved and stuff because obviously what she was doing was very, very illegal. And well, she did exactly what we said to do and she deleted all of them. And at that point, all of us had more rest in our minds that this has happened. And not to mention, years later down the road, she actually ended up becoming more popular and having more friends because she wasn't holding so much blackmail. So in a way, we did her a favor.